Relationship, guys.
All
So
right, I'm gonna give it to Kylie to bring up our special guest. She was on Monday, made it happen on our weekly call. So I'm gonna give it to Kylie. Let's go.
Great morning, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Good,
great.
good.
All right, awesome.
Amazing.
Good.
So,
Real
guys, we
good.
got a special guest. If you missed her on Monday evening, this is your chance to see her again. Um, I like to hear what people have to say before I put them on the call to make sure that they're gonna fit in our environment. So, and this lady certainly does. So Crystal, you there? Crystal Clark from FFL Invisible, you there?
I am.
How are you this morning?
I'm great. Thank you.
I had that shirt on yesterday.
Ah, all right. It's giving good energy, good
Yes,
vibes.
ma'am. So, Crystal, we do this every day, Monday through Friday, to get our mindset right, for the day, because this is not easy. And I know that you transition from being an employee to an entrepreneur, which is not easy, right? Because it takes a certain mindset to go from being an employee to now working for yourself and not having a boss, right? Everybody
Right.
thinks it's like this. You just, now I can do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. You got to work harder when you decide to become an entrepreneur, especially when you spent years being an employee. So, Crystal, and then I also know that you're getting your logo, right? So, guys, for who that she's is in the process is being made. For those that don't know, to get a logo, you and your team need to do $100,000 in production 2 months in a row, and that will promote you to senior sales manager, and that will get you your logo. So is there anybody interested in getting their logo? Because we haven't had any logos pop out in a long time. So who's interested in getting a logo?
Big Mont.
I'm
Busy.
interested.
All
Let's
right.
go.
I'm leaving the military. Big Mont.
All right,
KBT.
y'all. All right, let's go. We definitely need logos in our hierarchy, more logos in our hierarchy. But Crystal, so we in at 9:30 sharp. We try to, be respectful of everybody's time. Take some time, and number one, I want you to talk about two things. Why is mindset so important? Well, actually, I want you to talk about three things. Number one,
Okay.
why is mindset so important? Number two, um, what mindset did you need to transition from being an employee to being self-employed or being an entrepreneur? And then number three, why is building an organization important?
All right. I got it. Well, I'm excited to be up here with you all. I see all these beautiful faces. So good morning, everybody. I am Crystalis Clark. And I hail from Virginia Beach, Virginia, just to logistically give you where I am. However, I do have ties to California. My father, my sister, my brother, most of them they're all out in California. So I make the joke and tell people all the time, I'm bi-coastal, not bipolar. Don't get it confused. So I have love to give from east to west, and that's just my personality. Mindset is very important. And let me just go back. I am super excited that my logo for my team is FFL Undeniable. It will be unveiling in the next week. I'm sending the final drafts to the team at FFL Corporate today. So I'm excited. I can't wait for the unveiling. Maybe we should have an unveiling party. Like, I don't know. But I'm excited that to have achieved the logo. But as you know, I did not do it by myself. It was a team effort. And I know that's the last thing I'm going to talk about is building, but mindset is very, very important. So let me just kind of go back through time. She mentioned briefly that I did transition from full-time work from full-time work, yes, with the government to and then being part-time with FFL to being full-time with FFL just last year. And so let me tell you why mindset is important. When I first started in this business, okay, my mindset was I just want to make extra $5,000 a month. That's all I want to do. Kendall Clark, as you know, he's my direct person. He's the person that introduced me to FFL. And he said, look, 5,000 a month, Crystal, you can do that in a day, in a weekend. And I was like, that's fine, but I don't want to. I just want to do $5,000 a month. Did you hear what I said? He literally told me what I can do, and I told him back what I was going to do. Mindset. My mind wasn't there. My mind was just, let's do this extra because I have a very good, cushy job with the government and I have good income. So I thought, and hey, I'm good. I don't need to do anything else. But it shifted because guess what happened in 2020? The pandemic happened, right? And so I had to change my mind, not to mention the fact my son was a senior in college. My daughter was a freshman in college. The pandemic happened. And then my job was tripping because I worked for the government. And they had all these mandates and different things that were coming about that I wasn't necessarily on board with. Okay. So I had to change my mind. And so I remember being out in the field one day, because this is when I was in the home. And I was talking to one of my clients, and, something just changed. I was talking to them and I said, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? And I'm just sitting here and I'm saying, this is crazy. Like, I actually like helping people. I love talking to people. I love doing this. And I got to go back to my desk at home and deal with this stressful stuff. This is crazy. I don't want to do this anymore. This is nuts. And so when I got the infamous phone call, I had already made up my mind that I was going to take a shift, all right, for myself. Not because anybody else told me to. I wanted to do it for me. So when I changed my mind and put my mind to it, I said, you know what? I want to do over 10 grand this month. Ooh, all right. And I'm laughing because now I'm mad if I don't do 10 grand, right? That's like 10 grand is like gonna make me upset because that's just nothing to me. So I did like 17,000 one month. That was like my biggest month at that time. I said, oh my God, this is awesome. And I only did it on the weekends because I was part-time. I worked in the evenings and then on the weekend. And when I looked up and saw what actually transpired, like what I'd actually done, I was amazed. And then it was coming up to the end of the year. And I started getting all of these statements in from the carriers. And then I took them to my account, my CPA, and who does the taxes and everything like that. And I was like, he said, do you know that you made, $110,000 in this little thing over here? I was like, this little thing? What? Mindset. It was fun. It was a wrap. I was done. I mean, if that doesn't change your mind, and if you don't get yourself amped up to just do the bare basics, because all I did was talk to people. All I did was help them on a request that they sent to me, and I just made the call. So to me, it was a no-brainer. And so what really got me from transition or made me transition, I was in a forced transition. So we have to understand that part of it was forced, and then I had to make the decision to embrace the change. I got a phone call one morning from my HR department, just quick story. HR department called, said, thank you for all these years of service. Because you're not vaccinated and you elect to not be vaccinated, you no longer can work for the department. Now, mind you, I worked from home. I was not going to an office. I was not around people. But because I was in the position that I was in, they made it mandatory. I didn't want to do it. So they said, well, thank you for your 10 years of service. Goodbye. Just like that. 45 days, I was out the door. But by then I had already created, a routine and regimen for myself that, I was like, well, thank God I have this quote unquote plan B that's now shifting into a plan A. My transition was forced, but I had to get on board with the transition. For those of you all who are deciding to make a leap from part-time to full-time, or, in FFL, or you're leaving your job wanting to do this full-time, if you don't have it set in your mind and have a set routine and have a do or die mentality, I'm going to encourage you to go find another part-time job or another full-time job. Because I kept my same work ethic. I made sure that I got up every morning. I went to the gym. I came back, cooked breakfast, and I started my day and I dialed my leads. And we had dial days. So I would dial on Mondays and Thursdays, and I would be in the field Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And I took Sundays off. That was my schedule. That's what I did. And so when we transitioned to telesales, I was like, oh, well, this is great. I'm used to being on the phone anyway. I'm used to being at my desk anyway, right? Because I have this thing that I tell my team all the time. If you tell yourself you can do something, guess what? You can. If you tell yourself that you can't do it, guess what? You can't. Both of y'all are right. Let me say it again. If you tell yourself you can do something, you can. If you tell yourself you can't do something, you can. You're both right. Because it's all about what you say and tell yourself. So if you want to transition and make it easy for yourself and say, I'm going to make this transition, this is what I'm going to do, have those positive affirmations, boom. Guess what? It's going to get done because you told yourself that's what you're going to do. Just like you get up and tell yourself, I ain't doing nothing today. I don't want to call nobody today. I'm going to do laundry. That's it. It's all about what you tell yourself. So it all starts with you. I played a video for my team this morning that said you versus you. And that's it. It was a 3-minute video. It was quick, fast, and hurry. You versus you all day, baby, every day. You have to tell yourself, and I wrote notes, you owe you. You have to give yourself ultimatums every day. You have to demand more of yourself every day. Why? Because you are your number one competition. It's you. It's you versus you every day. Can literally tell myself, I want to, listen, y'all, I didn't go to bed till 2 o'clock last night. 2 a.m. I'm sorry, this morning. Okay. Woke up at 6 o'clock this morning and said, oh, I got to get myself ready for the Success Lounge. I gave myself no options. I gave myself no excuses. Why? Because it's me versus me. Every day, baby, it's grind time. You have to value yourself to put yourself first. And I'm not talking about on a selfish kick, okay? Let's not be confused because we live in a society where it's like, oh, it's all about me. I'm doing me. I'm this, that, and the third. That has negative connotations to it. Talking about putting yourself in a place to say, you know what? I value myself enough and I set my standards high enough so that if you're not on my level, baby, I can't rock with you. If you are not giving me positivity, I can't have you in my space. I need you to back up because this is where I am. I value myself enough to put myself in a place and put myself in a position that I'm going to make sure that I thrive, that I achieve. I want to be around winners. I don't want to be around losers. When you all are in the Success Lounge, what do I say? It's called the Success Lounge. It's not called the Failure Lounge. We don't fail here. We succeed here. We thrive here. That's what we do. You can be negative all you want to. The minute you put in Success Lounge, you're telling your mind, I'm going to be successful. You got to embrace it and take it because it's you versus you, baby, every day. You owe yourself. You don't owe your kids. Listen, women, we had the kids. We owe them nothing. They owe us. Okay? Let me just put it out there. Fellas, you don't owe your children anything. Oh, I got to provide for my family. No, that's what you're supposed to do. But if you're not healthy and if you're not in the right mental place, what are you really telling them? What are you really showing them? So you owe yourself to that grind every day. You owe yourself on the license that you learn and you study for every day. You owe yourself for the leads that you purchased, that you invested your money and your time into every single day. So when you have that client on the phone and when you're talking to them, guess what? They don't owe you anything, but you owe yourself to give them all you got. You owe yourself to share with them your experiences, share stories, why you're calling, why you're answering the call. You owe you. It's you versus you every single day. And it's important from the building aspect. It's important to build because, listen, honestly, for logo's sake, and I like the way that it's structured, right? Because anybody can get out here and just grind, put their head down, do what they have to do, and get the logo. Yeah, I mean, seriously, you can do it. People have done it, all right? On their own pen, it can be done. But that's selfish. Not I'm a giver. I'm a sharer. I like to share. Whenever I learn something, I literally put it in the chat. Hey, yo, team, did you know this? You know, because I came up in a Southern Baptist church. All right. My grandfather was a preacher. I have 3 cousins that are preachers. Like born, bred, baptized in the church. All right. And one of the things they talk about is the sower. If I plant seeds to you all today, and you all take it to your teams or to your family or to your congregation or to your community, I've sowed the seed. That's building. Building is sharing. Building is caring. Because just like I said before, we live in a selfish world where we don't want to do it. It's all about me. I put myself first. How is that building up a community? How is that building up a tribe? How is that building up a foundation? Hey, you cannot be on a pedestal if there's nobody else looking up at you. Think about that. Okay? Building is important. It's important because when you give of yourself and you share and help people get everything they want, guess what? It comes back to you. You will, in essence, get all that you want. And I care about people. I'm one of those type of folks that I'm genuine to a fault. For those of y'all that are going to be at Baltimore at the conference and you see me live, I'm sorry, I'm apologizing now, because if you're not this type of person, you need to let me know ahead of time. But I'm a hugger, so I'm going to hug you. I'm going to be like, hey, I can't wait to see Corinne and Kylie. I'm just going to be like, hey, I'm just going to hug them. I'm going to hug Mike. Like, that's just who I am. Because for me, it's about building relationships. It's about having that understanding that, yeah, we make great money and yeah, we protect families, but I like relationships. I love the relationship. And that's why building is so important. Because when I see people on my team who have been going through divorces, who are struggling with their children, who've lost loved ones that are very close to them, who had traumatic situations, who are young and trying to figure themselves out, when I see them win, man, did y'all feel that cool that just came over you? Like, you just get this cool that comes over you when you see somebody win. And it's exciting. I love building up my team. We give kudos and we give shout outs in our WhatsApp. We have a WhatsApp chat. Every time somebody gets a sale, we're like high-fiving, giving them 5 signs, dropping. I mean, yo, that's right. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Oh, we got mean emojis and memes going on. Why? You don't know what that person is dealing with in their house. You don't know how they grew up. You don't know what their background is. So building is important, because when you build somebody else up, man, oh man, it does something to you. It makes you want to go. Success Lounge, right back to my point. I don't want to be around people. So, all right, y'all, we're going to dial today. I hope we get some sales. How them leads working out for you? Well, I called one person. They hung up on me 3 times. I ain't doing this no more. Did you see how the energy just totally changed? Like, seriously? No. You got to be around people that are motivated. And that's what we do. That's what this team is all about. I love that y'all have a mojo. It's called Mojo. That means get your butt up and get the percolator perking, get yourself going. Boom. Why? Because life is waiting for you on the other side, sweetie pie. And if you ain't ready for it, it's coming whether you want it or not. So you got to build yourself up. You got to be ready every day. But I will be able to sustain. I will be able to endure. I will be able to fight and be strong when I got an army behind me. When I have you all, we locking arms together. So when I do get that person on the phone that they negative and nasty, but I built up a team and I built up people and I've encouraged them. Guess what? I encourage you today. You can encourage me tomorrow. You can encourage me in 5 minutes and we can help one another. don't want to be out here fighting by myself. I can strike a mighty blow, not with one finger, with all 5 of them together with this one fist. And that's what we are. We are a team. We are together, and it's important to have that type of dynamic, not just to get to other levels monetarily, but to get to other levels mentally and spiritually in your heart. That's how you get from here to here, is by building. So for those of you all who feel like, I don't want to build a team, I don't want to deal with it. No, you need a team, because the team needs you. We need each other. And yeah, the money overrides are great. And yeah, chargebacks do happen. But guess what? When you grind, because it's you versus you, it all works out. And that is the attitude and the posture that I maintain every day. My puppy be exhausted. My dog is over here. He be exhausted by noon, looking at me, just go. And he's like, he can't take it. He only 8 pounds. But he goes. So I always like to, I get up this way. This is me every day. My team will tell you, I'm like this every day. Pretty much, I mean, from start to finish. I was able to break bread with a team out in Washington, D.C., Maryland this weekend. And they'll tell you, I started off like this, and it was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. We were out hanging out. I was still like this. This is what you get. But building is important. It's important to build, because it not just encourages everybody else, it helps you to encourage yourself. Because at the end of the day, it is you versus you, and you owe yourself, you deserve it for yourself. So I hope that this morning motivation, mojo mindset was great for you. I hope I gave you some different perspective, because sometimes I think we listen to things and they're so cliche that we don't really take the time to process and stop and say, no, that ain't me, or no, that ain't right. Sometimes we have to stop and smell the roses, right? So I hope I gave you all some good perspective this morning. You versus you, baby. It's all about you versus you, and you deserve it, because you are worth it. Thank you. That's all I got. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say.
Crystal, I might freeze because can you all hear me? Because I'm on the elevator.
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. So thank you so much. Number one, a lot of stuff I hope people were listening this morning. Because a lot of the things you say, I say all the time. Like, giving, recruiting is giving. Like, they're giving somebody, and I think we had somebody on here a couple weeks ago that said, recruiting is a gift. You know what I mean? Like, you're giving somebody a gift of this opportunity. So guys, take your phones off of mute real quick, and let's thank Crystal for her time.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Crystal.
Crystal.
Yes,
Crystal.
thank
Yo,
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
this
Cannot.
fire.
So much for your
Thank
positive
you.
energy.
Bang,
Thank
bang,
you.
y'all better get
Awesome.
fired up.
You just
Yeah.
You just brought
Praise
all the
God.
energy that I needed for today. I really
Thank you. I needed it.
And the best part about it,
Thank
Crystal,
you.
the best part, guys, about Crystal is Crystal is now a part of she's not on Fury. I wish she was, but she's a part of FFL Allegiance, and so we have access to Crystal on a regular basis. So that is amazing. Crystal, I'm so glad to be in business with you. I'm glad you guys joined the team, and you're gonna make a great addition to the hierarchy. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm super excited. I got excited when I first saw everybody. I was like, felt like a kid in the candy store. So trust me, I'm equally excited to be here.
And we can't wait to meet you at the sales conference, girl.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, y'all. So y'all heard it. If you didn't get the memo yesterday, there is a new live dial, zoom.successlounge.space. Zoom.successlounge.space. So we will see you on the live dial in just a moment. Have a great day, everybody.
God bless y'all.
Bye.
God bless. See y'all later.